Going to show a little bit of upper back, some neck, and scalp work on Karina here. Just mobilizing, using my hands to feel what's going on along her neck. Normally when you're pressing, you want to press into the posterior, into the back side of the neck. If you get in front of the SCM, that's generally the spot that you want to avoid. In other words, if you can find the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid, attaches at the mastoid process and down at the sternum here, you want to stay behind this guy. So you can go a little bit into the side of the neck, but you're just going to be minimal, if any, pressure if you're going to go in front of the SCM. Not only do people find it uncomfortable, but when you get up into here, this is more like the carotid artery, which is what we want to avoid. I can feel her pulse right there. So in the backside, if I'm lifting and mobilizing her neck, I can use these fingers to slide and glide up the cervical spine on her right side, right to the base of the skull, right there. Kind of leading her on, leaning back, back and forth. Just softening the neck, getting a feel for what's going on there. If you'd like to see the rest of this video towards the end, you can go to WellnessPlus TV or watch the series for free on Amazon Prime. Working right to the base of the skull again. I'm going to rock her onto my fingers and then rock her off, back and forth again and again. Since I've got some mobility here and she feels fairly loose, I'm going to guide her into some gentle range of motion through her neck. Now, I'm not jamming in any way. I feel like I'm lifting, lengthening, and mobilizing. I'm not using a huge amount of pressure to be able to move her this way. All of these little movements are controlled by muscles, and we're able to lengthen and access those structures. I'm going to bring Karina's head to the side, and we're going to give her a little bit of length by pressing away at the shoulder. That's going to lengthen trapezius and levator scapula. If I'm hooking one hand at the base of the skull here, it means I have a handle so that I can lengthen between the two. Feels really nice to be passively moved around. Something about mobilization feels extremely yummy, kind of juicy in a way. And in Karina's case, I wanted to see, most people are having issues with their temporalis. Their temporalis is over their temple and goes up and around. These muscle fibers go down and underneath the zygomatic arch and attach on the jaw. So a lot of people who have headaches or any kind of pain, they'll typically want me to use some pressure like in here, right, Karina? Mm-hmm. Okay, feels kind of nice. If I'm hooking down through there, correct? Very good. Okay, but in this case, what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring her to the side to see if I can hook a big, broad forearm. Now I'm gonna lean just a little bit. Now you tell me, Karina, if I go to the posterior or to the anterior, which one do you like? Anterior. Now, if I go cephalid towards the head or caudid down towards the feet. Okay, so she wants up right there. How's that? Mm-hmm. Now, does that feel like a good spot you want me to hang out in? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just going to hold this and I'm going to jostle just slightly to get some pull. I'm going to balance my hands. How's that right there? Mm-hmm. Because now I have two spots. Now it's like I can grab here at the shoulder and I can still pull up towards the scalp. And she gave me a very deep sigh. Do not let it fool you. This looks inordinately simple. This big, broad pressure in the scalp feels awesome. I wouldn't want to keep Karina here longer than about 2 or 3 minutes because her head is so turned to the side. But what I am going to do is I'm going to hold pressure right there. Now, Karina, can you yawn for me? That's getting her to lengthen those muscle fibers in temporalis. How was that? Yeah. I'm going to slowly disengage, and I'm going to give her a little bit of shear. Do you like 1 or 2?
1.
Okay. Back this way. And still cephalid up towards the scalp. There you go. Now, I can come in and use this hand to work on the ear. How's that? Yeah. So when you're thinking about muscle, musculoskeletal anatomy is something you're always going to go back to. But don't forget that you're making contact with skin. If I go in and grab right here, and now it's like the forearm and the ear are kind of going in opposite directions. How's that? Yeah. What about a little bit posterior right there? And a little bit of turn, like I'm moving this direction. Not too much to the forearm there. I'm going to slowly disengage on the ear. Going to release pressure. And then slowly bring her back to the other side. And just like before, hooking around the scalp. Leading the shoulder down. And again, just like before, I'm going to switch forearms. I'm going to grab above the ear here. I'm going to give her a choice. Does she want more pressure anterior or posterior? Posterior. Now, cauded down towards the feet or cephalid up towards the head? Right about, what do you think about there? There we go. And again, left hand's going to grab the shoulder. Going to give some length. I can stack my hands so that it feels comfortable here, big and broad. I don't want to be sharp on the temporalis, over the temples. Big and broad, little bit of traction, slightest micro movement up towards the scalp. When you can, Karina, give me a big yawn. I can feel those muscles move. Yeah. And disengaging on the left shoulder there, I'm going to come in and grab the ear, just like before. And get a decent grip, and I'm going to traction in opposite directions. The forearm goes up towards the scalp, the ear goes down towards the feet. Then I'm going to get a good grip. What do you think? 1 or 2? 1. Okay, and then back this way. What do you think about right there? There we go. Gonna slowly disengage and bring Karina's head back to center. I'm gonna strip out the paraspinals again using the fingertips, sliding up. Since my left hand is supporting the head, I'm allowing the right fingers to slide up the spine. Now, I'm going to hook a forearm underneath, and instead of having just a radius and on the side by side, I'm going to turn at an angle here to give her a little bit of more sharp pressure. So I'm going to slide in, and then right there. How's that, Karina? Okay. Now, if I guide you here, is that too much pressure? Okay, I'm going to get a grip on the shoulder here and see if I can give her some lift. Right in. There, how's that? There we go. You prefer out to the right or back to the left?
Right.
Out to the right, right in there. How's that there? Okay. And I'm using my forearm here just to save my hands. Right there, how's that? Now if I give you some traction up towards the scalp or down towards the feet? Down towards the feet, right there. There we go. There's a little bit of pressure on my radius, a little bit of pressure on my forearm flexors, but it's something I'm going to be able to hold here for just a minute or two without any issues. Gives her some little pressure, allows me to save my hand. Slowly gonna unwind, kind of slide. Gonna try for the opposite side. Always embracing movement, just allowing somebody to mobilize. And then again. To the left or out to the right?
Left.
Okay. Out to the left. What do you think about right there? There we go. Now to save my hand, I'm going to come up with the forearm, big and broad. Now you tell me, Karina, right there. Okay, up towards the scalp or down towards the feet? Okay, up towards the scalp, right there. I'm going to get a grip with my hand right here. I'm always trying to stack my bony structures in a way that gives me the most integrity to deliver pressure with the least amount of physical strain. One of my students is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, and when he saw me work, he kept saying that what I was doing was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It took many conversations for me to understand what exactly he was talking about, but I think that in fact he's correct. There were elements of the work biomechanically that it infused into what I was doing by trying to do something that was effective, but also the least amount of physical strain for myself. Now, Karina, if I give you some pressure out this way or back this way, which one do you like more? First one. Back this way. I had a little piece of my forearm extensor shift right over my radius. It kind of rolled over. It was tender for just a second until it moved out of the way. right there. And slowly I can disengage. She'll roll back to center. I'll give her that little bit of traction and lift. Again, that little bit of mobilization. I can come in with my fingers again just to feel what's going on here. And in Karina's case, I want to give her a little bit of pressure towards the base of her skull. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take 2, maybe 3 fingers and I'm going to hook them up. Now, I'm not going to do a huge amount of pushing with this hand. What I'm doing is I'm stacking her body on my fingers so it just sinks in. So I'm going to stack her on my fingers right there. You'll see that I turned her head just a little to the right side. I'm going to use the Live Long and Prosper to hook right over the temporalis and get a grip. This means that I have enough pressure, enough grip around the skull to be able to tell me, Karina, do you want a traction or do you want towards the feet?
Traction.
The traction. So I'm giving her some traction and it's also pulling her into my fingers. I can probably hold this for about a minute until it's too much. I can even use a little cross fiber with the fingers there right at the suboccipitals. And slowly just reverse sides. That'll be a lot on my hands, so I'm going to stretch it out, kind of move it around when I let go. Again, 2 to 3 fingers, stacked now on the left side, hooking in right there. Gonna hook right over temporalis, right there. Gives me a lot of surface area to make contact to traction. And again, works better up towards the head as opposed to down towards the feet. Yeah. Then the left finger is just a little bit back and forth, side to side. I can feel a little bit more tenderness towards the midline, so I move the fingers over slightly. I'm going to change your head position right in there. And again, won't be able to hold this for too long. But because she's having more issue there, I'm going to use the thickest, I shouldn't say that, actually thinnest. I'm going to use the thinnest portion of my radius on this hand to see if I can stack her right there. Now you tell me, Karina, right there. Now I can form a fist right there with my hand. How's that where I'm pressing? Mm-hmm. Good spot?
It feels really good.
And if I give you some pressure right there, there we go. It's just a matter of delivering sustained pressure in a way that doesn't compromise my own body's integrity. A lot of what we do, even in these videos, is improvisation. I don't ever work exactly the same way twice because I'm trying to make my body fit the person I'm working with as much as possible, which means that when you do this, you may have wrists that are of a different size. You may have different physical limitations. Long term, when you study with me, I'm just helping you figure out how to work through those and to use the tools, all of them, available to you. Right there, Karina. If I bring you over to the left or back to the right. Out to the left. And then right there. Give you a little traction. Or more right there.
The first one.
The first one. She wants more traction. Right there. I can only do this so long as it feels comfortable and good to my body, stacking my joints in a way that feels nice, like it has integrity. And then slowly backing out, broadening the pressure. I'm gonna lift, lengthen, and traction, full palm. Lift, lengthen, and traction, back and forth, side to side, snaking, undulating spine movements. Sliding up along the paraspinals again. Always feel free to repeat this so long as your hands aren't giving out. As I work my way out of the neck up towards the scalp, I love to take the receiver's head and turn them to the side, and then use the big, broad, flat pads of my fingers to hook around the scalp and do what I call a shampoo. At the back here, there's a little bit of slide over the hair. If I ever get tangled in the hair itself, I can kind of slide out and move the fingers around, try to re-engage. Tons of nerve endings in the scalp. When you have long hair like Karina and I do, it tends to pull on the scalp, so it feels very spacious, like it opens up your head. It's not uncommon for me to work on people's scalp and tell me they feel it in their sinuses. Then to the opposite side again, lifting her, gliding and sliding. A little bit of traction as I turn the head. And opposite side. You can really take your time and do this. Very rarely is somebody going to not like it. I make lots of friends at parties. Then, turning her head back to center, we're going to engage in both sides at the same time. We do the live long and prosper now on both sides, right into Temporalis, which is what we started with that big, broad pressure. But I'm really hooking around the ears, and I can feel tension right. Ooh, how you doing, Karina? Right in there, right? Now, this is with the fibers. This is a little bit of cross fiber. I'm going to work through there. I'm going to get that to soften just a bit. And then as she does right there, can you yawn for me? It lengthens all of the fibers of temporalis while I'm working. It gives her a chance to kind of pin and stretch while I'm working that tissue there. Puts her in a little bit more control. Really, really good scalp work. You can see my thumbs have gone over to the top of the head, kind of working back and forth. Really, really good scalp work. People with chronic headaches or TMJ dysfunction, they love this. Typically are holding a huge amount of tension in their scalp. And temporalis is a big workhorse muscle that's involved in mastication or chewing. And then I'm going to slowly put a little pressure over the forehead. I'm going to split out across and onto the ears. A little bit of ear work here at the end. There we go. How you doing, Karina?
Awesome.
Good. Thank you so much. I'm glad that feels better. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll watch the full series on WellnessPlus TV and for free on Amazon. You can find more information about me, Robert Gardner, on my website, robertgardnerwellness.com. There's a free Thai massage workbook there, and you can also subscribe to my subscription service if you look for the link in the store. There's more video content and education training from me. Thanks again, and have a great day.
With hundreds of videos that you can stream on virtually any device to help you reduce stress, lose weight, or just improve your health and well-being overall. At WellnessPlus.tv, we are dedicated to helping you on your health and wellness journey. Join WellnessPlus.tv to find hundreds of videos to help you improve the health of your body and your mind. WellnessPlus.tv. Get well, feel better.